Today, I've officially turned 19 years old, February 8th, 2024, and I've come to a realization that I want to share with you in this video. Whether you're pretty young, you're either 19, maybe you're younger than 19, and you're an entrepreneur, I basically want to share a realization I had today, which is the fact that I am hustling backwards. I literally just had this realization and I wanted to make a video on it because I believe it's something very important to be talked about. And the reason why I had this realization is because I was starting to reflect on where I wanted to be when I was, say, like 16, 17, because I started my entrepreneurial journey around that time, like 2022, very early 2022, in like January. That time I was around 16 going into 17, and right now I just turned 19. So I guess you can say I've been on this journey for about 2 years or so as an entrepreneur. And basically, I realized kind of today, since I turned 19, I just realized I'm hustling backwards. And what I really mean by that is the reason why I haven't achieved certain goals that I wanted to achieve back then, right now, is simply because I've been working on the wrong things. I'm doing things that don't really have that much leverage, that much ROI, and just really return on like what I'm actually doing. What I mean by this, for example, is because I remember when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, which that's kind of a little difficult for me to pronounce at the moment, but when I first started my business journey, I remember I would spend so much time sending all these DMs, sending all this outreach to a bunch of people on Twitter mainly. I would do a little bit of cold email, a little bit of Instagram as well, but it was mainly Twitter. I just remember the amount of hours I spent every single day sending DMs to people. 10 DMs, 20 DMs, 30, 40, 50. But my DMs were not good and I was targeting the wrong people. So I really got nowhere. But I was doing that for about a year and like maybe 2, 3, 4 months. I can't remember exactly, but it was around like March of last year, March, April, where I kind of realized like DMs is really not the way if I really want to like grow. So I remember it was around that time I began like doing some more like editing work for people, because for an entire year I really didn't get any video editing clients. I wasn't really working with anyone. This is when I first started off in like 2022. It was like a super difficult year when it came to like business anyway. Like just being completely honest, like I made like $78 total out of that entire year, the very first year of my business. I've done better since then, but I just remember last year in 2023, the fact that I was starting to get editing work. I was starting to work with editing clients, stuff like that. And this is where like things started picking up. But I found myself where I would just be editing videos all day long for like other people, other clients, which I'm not saying, and I'm not throwing any shade to people I've worked with. I'm very grateful to the people I've worked with and still grateful for the people I'm working with right now. I'm extremely grateful. Without them, I wouldn't have gained these lessons, gained these insights, gained these skill sets in order to share with you in this video. But I realized like from like March 2023 till about maybe the end of last year, basically, I've been starting to work more with like people on video editing, which I wanted for such a long time. Now that I think about it, I wanted to do that for so long because like I said, in 2022, I did not have a very like successful start towards my entrepreneurial journey, which I guess in hindsight, it was kind of successful because I did learn lessons. But I remember for so long, I just wanted to edit for people. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to edit their TikTok videos. I was like obsessed with doing that. And I was starting to like get obsessed with editing people's vlogs and stuff like that as well, because I would watch certain channels where they make vlogs. And basically like, I don't know, it's almost like I had this like fantasy in my mind. Not like weird fantasy, but just like I had this fantasy in my mind of like what it's like to edit for people. But the honest reality of like editing for people is it's not as like, I don't know if romantic is a word. That's kind of weird to be honest. That word is definitely not the right word, but it's not as what I envision in my mind. I'm gonna say it that way. It's not as what I envision in my mind. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw any shade, be disrespectful towards the people I've worked with. I'm very grateful to be working with them and have worked with them. Very grateful. But I'm just saying that it's not what I actually envisioned. And now fast forwarding to today, the fact that I turned 19 years old today, I realized that I'm hustling backwards because for so long, I guess like 2 years for my journey, which in the grand scheme of things, 2 years is not that long, but for 2 years, I definitely believe I could have made way more progress had I focused on the right things. Those right things mainly being just building up my personal brand. If I actually focused a lot more on just making YouTube videos, high quality YouTube videos, TikToks, I'd be in a completely different position. I can't even imagine where I'd be, because when I set my mind on something to do it, like, it is done. It is done to a very high level, to a very high degree. When I was playing saxophone a few years ago, I became the best in my school. When I got to 10th grade, I was playing in the 11th grade band, in the symphonic band, because I was that good. So I skipped an entire grade to play with that band. When it comes to video editing, I just became obsessed with just learning video editing. I became super good at that. I've now started to work with some pretty cool people. Like I said, very grateful to work with them. But I just realized, like, the actual vehicle I'm in when it comes to actually video editing for people, in a sense, it is kind of hustling backwards, because it's like, yes, I am helping them when it comes to like building up their stuff, but the realization I kind of made is like, there is a ceiling to video editing, which I don't think anyone's really talking about when it comes to this whole video editing, short form content, long form content space. No one's really talking about how there's actually a ceiling, and it's almost like there's a limit to the potential of video editing unless you actually have a personal brand and you're teaching people, or you're selling products, you're selling services, all these things. There's actual limits if you're just video editing by yourself. And I was doing this for such a long time, and I wanted to call myself an agency owner. I wanted to call myself someone that's had like all these people working for me or something like that. But for so long, it was just me, and I guess I didn't have the pride, or not pride. I guess I didn't have the humility to say that. But yeah, just thinking about it right now, like, for so long, I guess, from sending the DMs to people to spending like hours and hours a day editing for people when that could have been allocated towards my own videos, posting even Twitter content when I didn't like doing Twitter content, but I was reading from people that Twitter content's the way to get clients and all this stuff. I was so desperate for clients like last year. It just makes me realize, like, I've been hustling backwards for so long that if I just focus on more higher leverage, higher ROI things, then my position will be very different from now. So basically, since I'm 19 now and I made this reflection, I basically made a commitment to myself that I'm actually going to focus on the right things moving forward. I'm actually going to do things that are going to scale, that are going to build, that do not have a ceiling, such as video editing, because there's naturally a ceiling towards video editing. You can only do it for so much and for such an amount before it's just like you're essentially replaceable in the marketplace. I believe that's why a lot of video editors, they almost feel underpaid, or they feel like they're just not actually valued in the market, especially by the people they're working with, because there's so many of them nowadays with short form content, with long form content, all these things. There's so many options for video editors and just people doing content creation in general, that it's like when people work with like influencers or content creators, streamers, whatever, it's almost like they're kind of falling short. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say, if you're a young entrepreneur watching this video, if you're 19 years old or you're younger than 19 years old, you're starting up your business, maybe you've already gotten some traction, I basically want to pass on this lesson to you, that you do not want to hustle on the wrong things. Because like I've said, like I've titled this video, I'm hustling backwards. I just want to make sure that you don't do the same mistake, especially if you're starting out. Like, choose things that will actually build up and actually scale you and actually have an ROI, a return on your investment, a return on the amount of time, energy, discipline, focus, intensity that you're putting into that craft. For example, personal brand, this has significant ROI. That's why I want to focus on it way more. And just like skill sets you can actually acquire, these things. Don't just focus on like just constantly trying to get that next client, which is what I was doing for so long. Which I think, had I just focused on building up my personal brand, I would have gotten the clients anyway, and I would be in a completely different life position. But I don't regret anything. Everything has happened for a reason, and I'm just grateful that I've actually learned these lessons early as well, because I really have nothing to lose. I'm only 19 years old. I'm still starting up. I'm only 2 years into my entrepreneurial journey. So yeah, I'm very grateful that I'm learning these lessons now, because I could be learning these way down the line with millions and millions and just mess up. But because I'm starting out, it's a great learning time to just gain these lessons and then apply them. So that's basically the video. I've been hustling backwards, moving forward, being a 19-year-old. I want to do things the right way. I want to do things properly. So that said, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you progress on the right things, focus on doing the right things, the right actions, and you will get to where you want to be. Take care.